Hey all, your OS reviews. Although it's still at the tail end of summer in many places being quite warm at the moment, winter is coming. In another month or two, it might be getting kind of chilly in many spots. So today we're taking a look at a product that is really in preparation of that in the form of a hand warmer from a company called Ocoopa. And in the past, we've checked out some of their other products that have been pretty stylish for being just a hand warmer with these custom kind of decal textures along with Type-C for charging. Also serves double duty as a power bank. But today's model, which is called the Union 5S, is a little bit more special because it also is a modular hand warmer slash power bank. That is, the actual battery inside can be detached from the warmer shell, and you can swap out these rechargeable batteries if you pick up, say, multiple sets, or again, if one particular part breaks, you can more easily replace it. So this two-in-one design is also something that they will be bringing first in the form of Kickstarter, so it would be a crowdfunding campaign. Just like before, you can still use it as a regular power bank if you don't want to use it for warming your hands, or you can just detach it from that shell and use it like a smaller battery pack and take up less space when you're on the go. It's 10,000 milliamp hour capacity, so it will charge, again, most smartphones and devices about 2 to 3 times on average. It is claiming 360 degrees of heating because of the entire metal that wraps around the outside case compared to some of the previous hand warmers that only gets hot at the front or the back. So this should be a little bit more even, and then 4 temperatures that you can pick between depending on if it's really cold outside and it's snowing or if it's just a little bit windy, as well as picking different colored casing. Because the outside is interchangeable, you can think of it as decorative cases. And then of course, after we pop this out, some additional accessories that you get inside the box are inclusive of a lanyard strap, as well as a USB Type-C charging cable that can also be used to then charge your phone. We also have a quick start guide, along with, last but not least, a carrying pouch. Alright, so taking a closer look at the design here, it's constructed out of this aluminum alloy shell to dissipate the heat 360 degrees, so it's actually pretty hefty and cold to the touch, but feels quite premium. Then we have on the top here the ports, which you can still access as a power bank even when attached into this heating case, although when you remove the battery pack, it will no longer activate any of the heating features. Double tap on this key here just to take a look at how much power we have remaining, 50%, and then you can long hold to turn on the heating mode and activate the 4 settings that we'll talk about more in a moment. Now, as far as the output, it's rated at 5 volt, 2 amps using this USB Type A port. So it's going to be pretty standard in terms of charging up phones. It will charge it up typically in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it's not going to be lightning quick compared to some of the GAN chargers, which have kind of faster wattage output. So this is still meant for charging smaller devices like cell phones, for instance, if you are using it as a power bank. So anyways, if we want to now pop this out of the shell, there is a latch on the side that you can press on, give it a bit of a push, and it will then pop out like so. So it becomes, again, something that can be removed entirely from the bottom, which is a pretty interesting trick. And with that part completely separated, again, this is the component that contains all of the heating as well as the metal contacts, and the inside is going to be just a lot slimmer, as you can see there. It's constructed out of a polycarbonate plastic, and it is a relatively slim 10,000 milliamp hour capacity pack when it is removed. On the top here, you can see the proprietary prongs that it's using when it's attached into the heating case to allow for that component to function. So that entire design of sliding in and out actually is pretty well thought out, fairly well in terms of engineering. Everything feels quite tight and precise. Giving a bit of a push, it will snap into place with a pretty satisfying click, and if you're just pressing down, it stays firm, so it's not really wobbling or anything like that until you activate this switch key, and then you give it more of a tight push to remove it. In terms of the heating modes, if we do kind of turn it on just by long holding for a few seconds, you'll be able to see it starts off with this one red icon, so it will start off in the lowest temperature, and the entire thing does get warm and hot actually very quickly. Here are again the maximum temperatures that it can reach, with one red LED up to 115 degrees, with 4 LEDs the max up to 145 degrees. It's going to get very hot, but if you're in blistering snow, putting this into the inside of your jacket can make you feel just a lot more toasty and comfortable. Although that will also reduce the battery life down to 6 hours compared to in this first mode, it can run continuously up to 15 hours with the 10,000 milliamp hour capacity pack. Now, a couple of other remarks. I think these rechargeable hand warmers in general are just a lot more eco-conscious and make more sense than those aforementioned one-time use packets, because this thing can be recharged, used for thousands of times, and you don't have to really worry about throwing away harmful chemicals. The cost will be lower over time. It's more well built. So this category in general is something that I do think has been pretty fun to use over the past few years. But more than that, I think the design of this model with its more consistent heating as well as the more versatile battery pack solution is quite smart. One thing I will say though is that USB Type-C port is only used to charge the power bank itself, which takes about 3 hours to top up from zero. It isn't used for output. And that is one thing they can probably change in the future, especially since it has a 10,000 milliamp hour capacity, which isn't too small. I think the ability to charge maybe 2 devices at once could be pretty handy. But again, right now you are limited to charging just one device using that USB Type-A port. With that being said, this is already a very innovative rechargeable hand warmer by combining some features and designs that has really never been seen before. So I do appreciate they're trying to create something new and basically experiment with the form factor, and in this case I think it's mostly successful, but if you're interested you can always check out more details in the links down below. And for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Ocoopa Union 5S.